DJ Odie, Harlem, NYC, play records. That's what I do. I play records. I've been DJing since I was 9, I'm 30. I started playing out when I was 15. I started watching pornography when I was 11. Played my first party in 1992. I've been playing out since then. I mean, other than weddings, sweet 16s, bar mitzvahs, baptisms, block parties, the jams. I started off playing anything I can get my hands on. My babysitter was a DJ, and he was just on some, you know, early 80s electro, hip-hop, rap, whatever you wanted to call it. It was just all one thing. I just wanted to be cool. I was in it from day one. I discovered the whole rave community and whatever just from like loving the music that I liked, the house music, what I thought was house music and dance music. Some people in Detroit were calling techno. Then some people in England started calling it techno. Then they started doing their own kind of it that had break beats in it, sped up hip hop beats, and I liked it. I liked the aggressiveness of it. I was just like, this is cool. So I stuck with it. Eventually that sped up breakbeat stuff turned into jungle, which turned into drum and bass, which is what leads us here. So 15 years later, and I'm still making a living, thank God. Digital Konfusion is the crew. We started the crew in 93, 94-ish as a response to the rave communities. Kind of like, in the rave scene, there was two very, very distinct things that happened. Number one, in the hip-hop community at the time, I can't even say hip-hop as a culture, I gotta say it, the rap parties at the time, because, you know, you had your underground shit and whatever, you had like Brand New and the Native Tongues and stuff like that. We're talking 92, 93, the late 80s, early 90s, but then you also had rap. And you know, you would go out to a party at say Kilimanjaro's or Home Base or, you know, the Building or whatever back in the day, and you would, you know, bump into somebody, oh my bad, you know what I mean, and it would cause tension. The rave scene never had that at the time. There was none of that kind of stuff, but that mentality, the mentality of hip-hop culture, of all that stuff, never really left certain people's hearts that found their way into the rave community from those communities, you know what I'm saying? And there was no place for there was no group of individuals where B-boys and B-girls, writers, DJs of a certain type of mentality could congregate. From working and playing at this club NASA, which was like the first rave-style event in New York City, the first like breakbeat event in New York City, a bunch of us just started chilling. We grew up in the shadow of the Zulu Nation. We grew up in the shadow of peace, love, unity, and having fun. You know what I mean? Of like, fuck the boundaries, fuck it all, just have a good time and just be respectful and learn as much as you can, whenever you can. And we took that idea and brought it into the rave community for ourselves. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, for me, honestly, like, it was just one of those, like, it was nice to be able to go to a club and not worry about whose girl I'm talking to or whose sneakers I stepped on or whose drink I bumped into the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got real tired of that shit. I knew people that were getting killed because of dumb shit like that in clubs, you know what I mean? It wasn't working for me. So I went into this direction and the music fit, and it all fit, and I just damn it. It's their hip-hop. And the same way that we treat UK hip-hop here in the States with a little bit of disrespect, even if the shit's hot, people look at it and they're just like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Even Canadian hip-hop, with the exception of somebody like, you know, Cardinal Official, exactly, you know what I mean? Or like somebody like that, or somebody like Chaclair, the whole like, you know, the whole like circle crew from over in Vancouver. With the exception of a very, very small few, even Canadian hip-hop, same continent, North America, has not crossed over into the hip-hop community here in the States. And stateside drum and bass is only just now starting to make major inroads, but only individuals. We haven't been accepted as a whole, as a community. Only individuals, certain producers, you know, are starting to be accepted because their music is now commercially viable, and because a lot of UK labels are starting to pay attention and say, hey, you know what? The United States is a viable market. We can sell records there. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing in that, yes, they're going to start paying more attention, but it's a bad thing because, yo, we're doing our own thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of the reasons why, you know, a subgenre of drum and bass jungle known as hipstep occurred. I did a couple EPs for Liquid Sky. I've had 3 or 4 tracks on there on the Liquid Sky labels on, various compilations. I did a couple of 12 inches for a label called BML. I've done some remixes. Like, I'm a better DJ than I am a producer, to be quite honest. And I grew up in a school of, I grew up at a time in the world, or at least in New York's community, where DJing, you know, was important for three reasons. Number one, you entertained, which is first and foremost. Number two, you educated. And number three, you were the record buying community's direct line. You were the pulse of the record buying community. So it was up to you to play records that the next morning kids would go to the shop and be like, yo, Odie played blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, word? Here's a copy. And it's all a big, it's, you know, circle of life. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta check your flyers, man. I got a lot of shows coming up. I got a lot of things happening. www.djodie.com/audio/mixes. That's all my mixes. Download them. I don't update my site too often just because I'd rather use it for mixes and pornography. So
DJ Grand, the movement, the level. Here with my man Odie at the Concrete Jungle. I don't know what to say.
I got way better posture than this, by the way. I'm just real cold right now. My nipples are starting to rub on my t-shirt. It's not comfortable, so I'm out. Peace.
Yo, 2 fingers, as usual.